and this is my 2015 F800 GT. I've been asked to create a video of some of the customizations that I've added and my excitement about my ride. So this is the first motorcycle that I've had in 30 years. I'm 47 years old, and I rode as a teenager and then decided about a year and a half ago to get back into motorcycling. As I searched for a motorcycle, it became clear that BMW was the way to go. I didn't want something with too much throttle. I wanted something that was comfortable, kind of standard seating position. I'm a middle-aged guy, I'm 47 years old, so I wanted something that was comfortable and that I could ride all day. I need to be able to commute, so being able to carry things. I'm a young professional, I own a business. I need to carry a variety of objects back and forth to work, whether it be a laptop, whether it be equipment for my office, etc. But being able to have hard bags was important to me, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But most importantly, I was looking for something that had enough gas to excite me, had a comfortable seating position so my back didn't hurt, and was simple and easy to use. I've been riding this machine for 1 year. Actually, about 13 months. I've done 8,000 miles in 13 months, and every single mile has been spectacular. I've ridden mostly one up, just me alone. I've ridden with a variety of my nieces and nephews, as well as a sister-in-law. My latest ride was yesterday, when I did 130 miles with my sister-in-law, and the ride was spectacular. It was relaxing, it was fun, it was twisty, it included all the excitement that you want on a motorcycle, and this machine delivered. I'm going to give you about 5 seconds of my seating position. When I get on this bike, I put some bar extenders on so that I could sit up nice and straight. I'm able to ride sitting up straight. I don't have to lean over. We're going to walk through some accessories, but the bottom line is, one of the things I love about this ride is I can sit up nice and straight. The pegs are up high enough. I can bank corners like a sport bike, but I don't need to lean forward or rest on the tank. So, what have I done to this machine since I got it? I bought it used approximately a year ago. There were a couple of things that were really critical to me, important for my livelihood and for the way I want to utilize it, and I'm going to talk you through that right now. So, first, I made sure it had a crash bar. That metal bar right there, the Krauser bar, it looks sexy. I think the whole bike looks sexy. It just gets me fired up thinking about it. So that Krauser bar right there, because I haven't ridden in about 30 years, it was important to me to have something that would protect the fairing in the event that I made a normal human mistake and laid the thing down or dropped it on its side in my driveway, etc. So, matching really cool looking Krauser bars. Simple, easy to install, mounted with a series of bolts. Okay. The next thing that was kind of important to me when I got on the bike, I realized, seeing behind me was important. I realized that the mirrors themselves gave me pretty good vision behind me, but if they were a little wider, it would have been beneficial. So I added these. You can see this spacer right here. That spacer, I'm going to take a look from the front, and you can see how that widened the mirrors, allowing me to see behind me. Now when I'm riding along, I have a really good visual field of the vehicles behind me. I can see if someone's creeping up on me or tailgating. I can see their headlights. I can see the reaction of the lady in the car behind me. So that makes it a little bit easier if I'm on the highway or a back road. I have the ability to really get a good visual field. The next most important thing for me were these hard bags. Like I indicated before, I carry things back and forth to work. I'm a physical therapist. I own a practice, and carrying, whether it's my computer, whether it's my towels for the office, a variety of things. So those hard bags were easy to install and enable me to carry whatever I need to back and forth to work. If I have more than what will fit in those, I strap it on to the luggage rack utilizing an elastic bungee. Next thing that was most important to me were the bar extenders. So right here, you'll see that I've added these extenders. Typically the handlebars are mounted down here. This metal piece allows me to sit back about 2 inches and sit up nice and straight. I'm 47 years old. I'm not a young kid. I don't need to lean forward. I don't need to be pressed up against my handlebars. And those really allow me to sit up nice and straight and ride all day. I've taken this bike out for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours at a time, and that's been a critical part of my ability to do so. I live in New England, and in New England, it gets cold. I didn't want to ride this thing only June, July, and August. I wanted to be able to ride it throughout the year. This here is a connector that hooks to my heated jacket. I have a coat that I wear underneath my BMW jacket that when I attach to that allows me to heat up like an electric blanket, and I can ride down to about 25 degrees in relative comfort. Between the heated grips that came automatically on this machine and the heated coat, I can commute to work back and forth 35 minutes without any problems. Another piece of this machine that I've really appreciated, and it came with the machine, again, I remind you I bought this used, is this little device here. This is a throttle lock. When you're riding down the highway or you're riding on a back road, you can turn the throttle up, crank the lock with your pinky, it holds the gas on. It's kind of like poor man's cruise control. It's worked very well. You do need to be careful with it because clearly it doesn't have the ability to maintain a specific speed. It maintains a certain amount of gas flow. So if you set it while you're going down a hill, it's going to bog when you go up a hill. If you set it going up a hill and you get to the top, it's going to gas up and you're going to be going a little faster than you expected. So it takes a little attention, but for the most part, it's been a really useful item that I've appreciated on this specific motorcycle. The seat, I just want to show you, is a custom seat. The seat itself, I'm looking for the label. It's a Sergeant seat, custom Sergeant seat, softer, wider, more comfortable for my passenger, more comfortable for me. It's also pretty sexy looking, gets me a little excited. It is a neat looking seat. When I sit on it, it distributes stress pretty well, etc., etc. So the last two things I wanted to point out that I've customized are this here. This is a RAM mount for my smartphone. About 50 bucks at the local motorcycle shop. The rubber gasket right back here attaches around the corners of the smartphone. Phone drops into place. I might have it. Hold on. I need two hands for this. But smartphone drops into place. Now I can ride along. From my seating position, I can still see the speedometer, tachometer, the computer, which shows me tire gauge pressure, outside temperature, gear that I'm in, etc., etc. And I can throw on Google Maps, navigate, etc., etc., using my smartphone holder. It's clearly out of the wind. The wind blows right over it. It doesn't get knocked around. Again, the rubber gasket straps onto the corners, holds it in place really well. So I added that on about a month ago and I love it. Couple little things in addition. This kickstand came with a small foot. I increased the size of the foot. Little metal thing attached with a few hex bolts. So if I pull into a more sandy or dirt lot and I want to park it, that kickstand holds in place really well. And the last thing that I customized is right here. This is for a trickle charger. So clearly in New England, we have a couple of months of the year where we're not able to ride. This little device, I zip tie attached to the cables. And I have a trickle charger. I just plug into this, leave it in my garage, and it allows the battery to stay charged even if I don't ride it for a few weeks at a time. So that's the summary of my F800 GT. I love it. If you ask me the multiple reasons why I think it's awesome, it has to do with how attractive it is, has to do with how great it handles. It rides really well balanced. The tires are spectacular and track really well. It's got this single swing arm belt drive so that there's no real grease or mess that I need to address. One of the sexiest parts of the motorcycle is that with the single swing arm this side, you see the whole wheel exposed. That's really neat. And you can tell for a standard seated position motorcycle, this thing is really cool. Any questions, feel free to contact me, keith.havemeyer@hotmail.com. Again, live in Connecticut, it's cold a few months a year, and I ride this thing. I've ridden it in the last year every single month because it's that cool.